Something exploded in the entertainment world tonight, and no one saw it coming. A betrayal so messy, so unthinkable, that fans are saying this could destroy friendships, marriages, and entire reputations overnight. Because in the dead silence of 3 a.m., Jaguar Wright hit the go live button and unleashed a bomb that shook the entire internet awake. Her voice was shaking, her eyes were burning, and every sentence felt like a knife being dragged across someone's carefully protected secrets. She claimed one of Atlanta's most glamorous stars, a woman who built her brand on confidence, loyalty, and sisterhood, has been hiding something so explosive it could tear the Bravo universe apart. And she didn't stop there. Jaguar hinted at private meetings, late-night messages, blurred receipts, and a secret that allegedly connects 3 people who should never be in the same sentence. Fans immediately sensed betrayal. Whispers turned into screams. Every timeline turned into a war zone. But here's the thing. Jaguar didn't reveal everything. She held back, deliberately, leaving viewers with just enough to panic, speculate, and wonder who is lying, who is hiding, and who is about to be exposed next. And trust me, the truth behind this rumor is even darker than the internet thinks. To understand why Jaguar Wright's late-night revelation shook the entire internet, you have to look at the people caught in the middle of this rumor. 3 celebrities whose images were always tightly controlled, polished, and protected until now. Start with Porsha Williams. Reality TV royalty. A woman who built an entire brand around confidence, glamour, and that irresistible, soft life glow. She reinvented herself countless times in front of the world, from the bubbly newcomer on RHOA, to the outspoken activist, to the luxury-loving businesswoman everyone cheers for. Fans see her as a survivor, someone who walked away from heartbreak, betrayal, and public humiliation only to come back stronger each time. Her Instagram is a highlight reel of spa robes, luxury trips, brunch tables, and captions like, "Protect your peace. Everything else can wait, sparkling heart sparkles." But lately something seemed different. A few days offline. A few posts that felt less polished. A shaky video in her car where she whispered, "Some things you can't prepare for." At the time, fans thought she was hinting at a breakup. Nobody imagined it could be connected to something this explosive. Then there's Todd Tucker, the unexpected center of the rumor. Todd has always carried a calm, focused, grounded energy. He's not the type to chase drama or storylines for clout. His image is built on loyalty, consistency, family, and work ethic. His social media is full of short messages like grind time, family over everything, or blessed. He's the kind of man who stays in his lane, the kind who doesn't feed fires. That's why this accusation hit so hard. It doesn't just challenge his marriage, it challenges everything he built his name on. And standing right beside him, whether she likes it or not, is Kandi Burruss. Business mogul, Grammy-winning songwriter, one of the most respected women to ever appear on Bravo. Kandi is known for being unstoppable, juggling 10 different careers while keeping her family grounded. She's rarely messy. She's rarely emotional online. And that's exactly why fans panicked when she suddenly disappeared from social media. The last thing she posted before going silent was a black Instagram story with the words, "Sometimes silence is the loudest answer." No explanation. No follow-up. Just a sentence that now feels hauntingly relevant after Jaguar's 3 a.m. bombshell. And while no one wanted to believe Jaguar's claim, people began digging, and that's when early evidence started surfacing. Fans resurfaced a video of Porsha arriving at an event wearing a large blazer, holding her bag in front of her stomach. People didn't think anything of it initially. Now, TikTok detectives are zooming in, screenshotting, analyzing every angle as if they're solving a crime. Then someone noticed both Porsha and Todd were in Miami on the same weekend. Their posts weren't connected, but the timing was only a few hours apart. Just coincidence or something more. The internet doesn't believe in coincidences anymore. Another resurfaced moment is an interview clip where Porsha was asked about friendships on the show. She suddenly went stiff, took a breath, and said, "Some friendships are not what they seem. Some people smile in your face, but y'all don't know what happens behind closed doors." At the time, Everyone assumed she was referring to Kenya.
But now,
Fans have turned that single sentence into something far more suspicious. And Todd hasn't said a word. Not a denial. Not a laugh. Not even a petty Instagram like that people could misinterpret. Complete silence. On the internet, silence is never neutral. Silence is fuel. Meanwhile, Jaguar continues dropping hints, cryptic lines about private conversations, secret messages, late-night calls, and receipts she claims she hasn't released yet. She hasn't shown anything clear, but the implication is enough to send social media spiraling into chaos. Twitter threads are multiplying by the hour. TikTok edits are going viral. YouTube is filling with emergency live streams. Everyone is connecting dots, real or imagined, and the speculation has turned into a wildfire that no one seems able to stop. And now the question shaking every timeline is simple. Are Porsha and Todd victims of a dangerous, exaggerated rumor? Or is there a silent storm behind the scenes, growing louder, darker, and closer to blowing up everything they've built? The timeline of this entire scandal begins quietly, almost too quietly. Weeks before Jaguar's explosive, around the same time, Todd began posting less as well. The man who almost never feeds drama suddenly went from active to invisible. His last normal post was a video about a business meeting, followed by a strange caption 2 days later that simply said, "People change." No explanation. No context. Just those 2 words that now feel like they were directed towards someone he shouldn't have been talking to. Then there was the night both of them were spotted. Separately in Miami. Porsha was seen leaving a restaurant with friends. Todd was photographed near a hotel lobby the same evening. Fans didn't connect the dots then, but Jaguar's story has forced people to replay every detail, every timestamp, every blurred paparazzi photo, like detectives preparing for trial. And then we get to the unraveling. 2 weeks before Jaguar went live, Candy posted a cheerful family video. Everyone looked normal, happy. Life as usual. But a few days later, she appeared exhausted during a backstage vlog. She avoided making eye contact with the camera and ended the video abruptly, saying, "I just need a minute." Fans thought it was stress from her busy schedule. They had no idea she might have been dealing with whispers that something was wrong at home. Behind the scenes, according to Jaguar, rumors were already circulating in certain Atlanta circles. Whispered conversations about late-night messages, secret phone calls, unexpected sightings. Jaguar claims people were talking, but no one wanted to be the first to break the silence. She said the only reason she went live was because nobody else had the courage to say what was really going on. Once her live stream hit the internet, everything spiraled instantly. Fans exploded. Some took Porsha's side, calling the rumor ridiculous, desperate, and clearly made up for attention. Others argued the timeline made too much sense to ignore. Commentators jumped in, stirring the pot even more. Some YouTube personalities uploaded emergency videos with titles like, "This is wild," and "Did Jaguar expose everything?" TikTok creators dissected every frame of Porsha's recent clips, claiming her face looked glossy, tired, or trying not to cry. Every blink became evidence. Every breath a clue. Even celebrities chimed in. A former RHOA cast member tweeted, "Child, nothing surprises me anymore," with a popcorn emoji. Another reality star commented under a blog post, "If y'all only knew what really happens backstage," before deleting the comment within minutes. Screenshots spread before she could even blink. The betrayal didn't feel like just a rumor anymore. It felt layered, emotional, personal, and public. Fans weren't just speculating about relationships. They were dissecting trust, loyalty, marriage, friendship, sisterhood. Everything Porsha and Candy had publicly stood for now felt shaken. Everything Todd had projected, stability, maturity, loyalty, was now under a microscope. As the hours passed, more behind-the-scenes details began leaking online. An anonymous tipster claimed Porsha left a recent event early because she wasn't feeling well. Someone else claimed Todd had been arguing with a close friend on the phone days before the rumor dropped. A TikTok user claimed Candy looked emotionally drained during a recent rehearsal. Some of these claims were probably exaggerated. Some might have been made up. But the internet doesn't wait for facts. It builds its own reality. Jaguar returned with another live message saying, "This is bigger than y'all think." Folks pretending like everything is fine, but the truth is bubbling under the surface. Her tone was confident, calm, almost eerie. That's what made people listen. And through all of this, none of the three people at the center of the rumor said a single word. Not one statement. Not one denial. Not one clapback. Their silence became its own character in the story, a shadow hanging over every theory. By the time the second day rolled around, the internet wasn't just whispering. They were screaming. Side-by-side edits of Porsha and Todd flooded timelines. Fan theories multiplied like wildfire. Entire forums were dedicated to breaking down the evidence. People who barely cared about celebrities were suddenly invested like it was a Netflix thriller. And yet, even with all this noise, all this chaos, all this speculation, one thing kept the suspense burning. Nobody actually knew the truth. Everything was hints, patterns, timing, silence, and one explosive accusation from someone known for shaking Hollywood to its core. And with no clear answers, the betrayal feels closer, deeper, and more real than ever. In the hours after Jaguar's accusation began spreading like wildfire, the consequences started unfolding in real time, messy, unpredictable, and far more personal than anyone expected. What began as an explosive rumor quickly evolved into a full-blown crisis touching marriages, friendships, careers, and reputations. And the deeper people dug, the more the illusion of perfect lives started to crack. The first domino to fall was Candy's fanbase. Known for defending her with passion, they quickly shifted from supportive to frantic. Every fan page lit up with comments like, "Where is Candy? And is she okay?" Some fans even began tagging her in videos. Behind the scenes, things were even more chaotic. A production insider claimed that Bravo executives were monitoring the situation closely, worried that if any part of the rumor turned out true, contracts could be affected. Another source said Candy refused to take calls from certain cast members, fearing they were only looking for gossip. Someone else whispered that Porsha's team sent emergency messages to bloggers, telling them to wait for an official statement. But that statement never came. The hypocrisy of the situation only made the fallout worse. Porsha, who often preached about protecting women's marriages and avoiding unnecessary drama, was now being accused of betraying another woman's home. Todd, who always insisted on transparency and respect, now faced a rumor that suggested secret meetings, whispered conversations, and hidden behavior. And Candy, known for being brutally honest and emotionally strong, was suddenly reduced to silence, completely unable to defend her family without adding fuel to the fire. As the hours turned into a full day, legal talk began swirling. Some bloggers claimed Porsha's team was preparing cease and desist letters. Others said Todd was considering legal action to shut down the rumor. Fans debated what was real. If both sides were truly innocent, why wasn't anyone shutting Jaguar down? Why wasn't anyone stepping forward to call the story false? The longer the silence stretched, the more convincing the rumor became. Dramatic incidents kept adding fuel. A fan allegedly spotted Candy's car outside a counseling office and posted the blurry photo to Twitter. Within minutes, people were insisting she and Todd were seeking emergency therapy. Another account claimed Todd unfollowed someone on Instagram, and that tiny social media action was interpreted as proof of tension at home. Even if none of these things were accurate, they were believable enough to keep the narrative alive. By evening, the fallout became overwhelming. Commentators were posting reaction videos with titles like "Todd needs to speak now" and "Is Porsha hiding something?" Some creators defended them, arguing the internet was blowing things out of proportion. Others accused them directly, saying the timeline was too suspicious to ignore. The emotional stakes were obvious. Marriages could collapse, friendships could dissolve, careers could take severe hits, and reputations carefully built over decades could be shattered in 24 hours. Through all of this, one detail kept haunting fans: the contrast between who these people appeared to be and who they might be behind the scenes. Porsha's soft, elegant persona suddenly seemed fragile and complicated. Todd's calm and collected demeanor seemed questionable. Candy's fierce strength now looked shaken. Everything felt contradictory, unsettling, and painful. The fallout wasn't just public, it was deeply emotional. Families were being dragged into conversations. Children's names were being mentioned. Friendships were being split apart by speculation. And the cruel truth was that none of it could be taken back, whether the rumor was true or not. By the time night fell again, one fact was undeniable. This wasn't just a scandal anymore. It was a storm, one that was ripping apart the boundaries between public image and private reality. And with no statements, no clarifications, and no denials, everyone watching was left wondering just how much damage had already been done and how much worse things were about to get. After everything that unfolded, the accusations, the silence, the emotional videos, and the chaos across social media, it's almost impossible to know what to believe anymore. One moment, fans felt confident that this was nothing more than another wild rumor. The next, every tiny detail, every old clip, and every suspicious social media move seemed to point towards something much deeper, something nobody ever saw coming. The emotional roller coaster has been wild, and honestly, this might be one of the most divisive celebrity storms we've seen in a long time. But now the real question is, where do you stand? Do you think Porsha crossed a line and betrayed a friend and a family? Do you believe Todd might have been involved in something he never expected to face publicly? Or do you think this entire scandal is just social media doing what it does best, blowing a spark into a wildfire? And most importantly, how do you think Candy is handling all of this behind the scenes? If you were in her shoes, would you stay silent, or would you address the situation head-on? And if you were Porsha, would you speak out immediately to shut everything down, or wait until emotions settle? Every perspective says something different, and that's what makes this so explosive. One thing is for sure, this story is far from over. More details could drop at any moment, another statement, another video, another leak from someone who knows too much. And if that happens, everything we thought we understood could flip again. So tell me what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments, share this with someone who's been following the drama, and let's get this conversation going. Because if this is only the beginning, the next chapter might just break the internet.